Hi everyone. Are you tired of seeing AI jobs paying $15 to $25 an hour while companies make millions off your work? Here are the exact strategies I would suggest you consider to turn lowball offers into higher offers so that companies do not keep getting away with paying you less than you deserve. So I'm going to cover some of the information I published in my half-hour video previous to this to condense it so you get all the information quicker. So the first thing I would do, I've got like 8 or 9 points here. The truth about why companies love 1099 contractors. You might try approaching companies and being a 1099 contractor. So here's the truth. Companies love 1099 contractors because it saves them money. They don't have to pay payroll taxes, unemployment insurance, health benefits, or retirement contributions. That's 20 to 30% savings right off the top. They also avoid the risk of wrongful termination lawsuits and can scale their workforce up or down instantly. For them, it's flexibility and cost cutting. For you, it means leverage because you're absorbing the risk they don't want. So you charge a lot higher. Okay. Number 2, how to counter $20 an hour offers with confidence. Okay. When someone offers you $20 an hour, don't just say no. Use this script. I appreciate the offer. Based on the responsibilities and the market rate for this skill set, I'm looking for something in the $35 to $45 an hour range. I bring and then specific skill or experience which directly impacts your bottom line. If the budget is tight, we can explore performance-based pay or tiered rates. So this way, you're not rejecting, you're reframing the conversation with confidence. See if they go for that. Like I said in my last video, with temp agencies especially, they'll ask you, are you okay with $20 an hour? Or the pay rate, $21.36. You could say, well, I would really like to know how, if you can go up like $25 an hour would be better for me, 26. Is there any way you can go up higher? And let them come back and tell you, because usually recruiting temp agency recruiters usually can pay more than what was just put in the job description. Okay, so number 3, the magic words that unlock performance bonuses and skill tiers. You can try it. The phrase to say is, let's tie compensation to measurable outcomes. Employers perk up when they hear that. It means you're willing to earn more by proving value. You could add, I'd like to structure my pay so that when I hit X performance metric, I move into the next pay tier. This positions you as results-driven, not just time-driven. Number 4, why cost of living actually works in negotiations now. For years, companies ignored cost of living, but remote work changed everything. Employers now benchmark pay against regional averages. If you're in a high-cost area, you could say, given the cost of living index in my region, fair market pay starts at such and so an hour. Use government or Glassdoor data as proof. It's harder for them to argue when you bring objective numbers. Number 5, so you could, for example, flip data annotation.tech and similar gigs into, $65 an hour. You can start at entry-level rates, but here's the trick. Treat every gig as a portfolio builder. Document your workflows, track your accuracy, and create case studies showing how you improved efficiency. Then pitch yourself to other companies as a specialist rather than a generic worker. That's how you can flip $20 an hour like data annotation gigs into higher pay ranges per hour consulting contracts. So you can position yourself into like a consultant. I've done that on a 1099 and I was some sort of a consultant. So have that portfolio. You don't submit it on the resume, but just maybe you can attach it somehow to an email and call the recruiter's attention to you've included your portfolio you would like the hiring manager to see, and you'd like to be considered for a specialist role and that kind of wage. You can try it. Okay, number 6, the 1099 versus W-2 math that makes companies pay you 2 to 4 times more. Here's the math. A W-2 employee making $25 an hour costs the company closer to $35 an hour after taxes, benefits, and overhead. As a 1099, they skip all that, back to being a 1099. So if they pay you $50 an hour, they're still saving money compared to hiring someone else, full time. That's why you can confidently ask for 2 to 4 times more as a 1099 because you're covering your own benefits and taxes. So you might want to just approach companies on your own independently and just say, hey, I'm a 1099. You are looking for this and this, and my services are available, okay? Okay, so number 7, building a $40 to $150 an hour prompt engineering portfolio that sell themselves. Because if you have experience, you have metrics, you have everything mentioned before, case studies, whatever, you really come across as totally expert and above just sort of generic employees. So don't just say you know prompt engineering, show it. Build a portfolio with screenshots of before and after AI outputs, case studies where your prompts saved time or improved accuracy or did, extremely well, a tiered service menu where you could state $40 an hour for basic prompts, $150 an hour for advanced workflows. When clients see tangible proof, they stop questioning your rate. These are just examples of things you could do and think about because you probably have way more experience than what the straight across generic job is asking for. So the last one is the ready-made team. And this is a trick that can get you hired at premium rates instantly. So companies pay more for speed. If you show up with a ready-made team, meaning you've got 2 or 3 or however many collaborators you can bring in instantly, you become a one-stop solution. Say, I can deliver this project with my team in half the time. That's worth premium rates because you're selling efficiency, not just hours. To maximize their chances of your chances of securing higher wages through a ready-made team proposal that emphasizes cost savings, reduced recruitment, screening, onboarding, all of that they don't have to do. They do it one time for your group. They don't have to keep headhunting and trying to find people and interviewing them. They've got a group that saves them all kinds of time from waiting for the applications to come in and looking through all the resumes. So this would really help them tremendously and be, sweeten the deal. So the group should approach the end client company's HR department directly rather than the temp agency. Okay, why go to the directly to the end client HR? Bypassing the agency's markup for better pay. You don't need the middleman. They want to take part of the cut. You don't want them to. You want that for you, right? So temp agencies typically add a 20 to 75% markup on rates they charge the client to cover their services, which reduces what the workers ultimately receive. That's why you're getting offered $20 an hour. By pitching directly, the group can negotiate rates that reflect the full value the client is willing to pay, potentially capturing some of the savings the client would otherwise lose to agency fees. This aligns with common advice in tech and engineering fields, where direct applications or pitches often lead to higher compensation since the company avoids external recruiter costs, which are typically 15 to 20% of salary or equivalent for contracts. Also, highlighting the team-specific value. A pre-formed team of AI experts can position itself as a plug-and-play solution, saving the client significant HR time and resources on individual hiring. This pitch resonates more powerfully with the client's HR or decision makers, who directly benefit from streamlined integration, faster project ramp up, and lower overall talent acquisition costs. Examples from AI hiring guides suggest companies value dedicated teams for specialized projects, and a direct approach allows the group to tailor their proposal to the client's culture, goals, and pain points. For example, we can start contributing to your AI initiatives immediately as a cohesive unit, cutting your time to productivity by weeks. And it really would save time from agency recruiters, looking through, applications and weeding through, hundreds and maybe thousands of resumes. You could get started a couple weeks earlier than waiting to build up a team that the end client needs. Flexibility in employment structure. Going direct opens options like contracting as a group via an LLC, a collective agreement. I don't know. These are suggestions. Direct temp to hire is a way, or even full-time roles if the fit is strong. This avoids the agency's constraints on terms, benefits, or duration, which are often geared toward temporary placements. So why not go directly to the temp agency with this group option? Because limited leverage for higher wages. The agency acts as an intermediary, prioritizing their own margins and client relationships. While they might appreciate a ready-made team for easier fulfillment, they'd still apply their standard markup, leaving less room for the group to negotiate upward. The agency's focus is on quick placements, not maximizing worker pay. So maybe if you go to the directly to the end client and that doesn't work, or you can't get through, or whatever, you might try with a temp agency, but tell them you need more money. So that might be a second option, to go to the temp agency instead. So reduced visibility of savings. The cost savings from your team proposal would primarily benefit the agency, so there's less effort on their end to source candidates and not translate directly into higher rates for you. Agencies handle payroll, compliance, and vetting for the client, so they might not pass on the full value of your efficiency. One thing that I'm thinking about now is you could maybe go to the end client directly and offer your group as 1099 contractors, not W-2, because then the end client is not doing the HR and the payroll and everything that I mentioned above here. So if you approach the end client as a 1099 group, they don't have to do the benefits, the overhead, HR. You take on more of the risks, so they pay you higher because you're taking on risk, but you're saving them a tremendous amount of time and actually money. When I did 1099 contracting, I turned in an invoice every week. That's how it worked, and it was just a spreadsheet that I just used over and over every week. I turned in how many hours, the time I worked, and just turned it in to my employer. So that's what you would do. So the employer isn't doing all the payroll and all of that. But as a 1099, be careful also because it does cost you a lot of taxes come tax time in April. So that's another reason you can charge more. So, practical tips for the pitch as a group: research and target. Identify the client's HR lead, talent acquisition manager, or AI department head via LinkedIn or the company website. Reference any public job postings, even if listed through the agency, to show relevance. So that's how you find out. Ask around other people employed by the company, ask them, um, look on LinkedIn, look on the company website. Then you want to structure the proposal. Lead with the problem solving angle, such as our team of so many number of AI specialists can deliver specific skills and outcomes while saving your HR team estimated time and cost on recruitment. Include resumes, past project examples, and a proposed rate structure that justifies the premium based on collective efficiency. You're saving everybody time. Remember that. Anticipate objections. If the client has an exclusive agency contract, they might redirect you. In that case, you should still pitch to the agency as a fallback, but start direct to test the waters. Legal considerations: form a simple entity like a partnership or an LLC if needed for contracting as a group, and I don't know if you need that, and ensure compliance with labor laws in your jurisdiction. This strategy is supported by hiring trends in AI and tech, where companies often prefer direct engagements for specialized teams to control costs and fit, especially for contract or project-based work. If the roles are strictly temp and agency mandated, success might vary, but starting direct gives the best shot at higher wages. And number 8, what to do if you're desperate and have to take the low pay right now. If you're in survival mode, take the gig, but treat it as a stepping stone. Document everything, build samples, and use it to negotiate your next role. Tell yourself, this is temporary, I'm building leverage. Even at low pay, you can extract value by turning the experience into portfolio material and testimonials. That way, desperation doesn't define your career. It fuels your next leap. Stop settling. AI is the biggest gold rush of our lifetime. Don't let them pay you peasant wages. So, all right, good luck out there with your job search. And I hope to see you on the next one.